Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multi-millionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and happy 2022. That feels really weird to say that, doesn't it? It's like, what happened to the last 2 years? It's really scary how fast time goes by. It gets me really panicky feeling. I don't know about you, but if I think about it too much, it's like, oh my God, time goes so fast, and I haven't, completed all the things I want to complete, and I'm behind on this, I'm behind on that, and and I can really start going wild in this brain of mine. And time really does go fast. But how funny is it when you're a kid, how it goes so slow? I mean, I felt like it took forever for me to turn 16 and get a driver's license. I felt like I spent hours and hours and hours playing Legos, and like the days were like 48 hours long. And now I feel like I do almost nothing, and then all of a sudden the sun's down. It's like, what happened? How is this possible? And I want you to commit to yourself for 2022 to be more intentional with your time and by honoring your time. And that doesn't mean you don't waste it, right? I think part of honoring your time is wasting it, right? In the sense of, I know when I'm I call it pediddling. I don't know if it's a Midwest term. My grandma used to say it. Basically, it's the art of you look like you're doing things, but you're really doing nothing. I'm an amazing pediddler. I will clean a countertop. I will move things from one pile to another. I might go through some mail. There might be some laundry happening, but not really anything significant is being completed, yet the hours go by really fast. But I know I'm doing it, right? I'm not checked out. I'm not dissociated. I know that I'm pediddling, which I need to do that for me to rest my brain. I call it active brain resting. Same thing, the fact that I subscribe during pandemic times, which we're still in. I subscribe to People Magazine and Us Weekly, rag mags, and so that I would read something that's not personal development, that's not business, that's not heady, right? And something just simple and fun. And it's a form of brain resting where you're not thinking really about anything or nothing that's that deep or that complex. And it allows me to end up being more creative and focused when my time or those sections of time I've allotted for working and doing other things. I want you to honor your time also by looking for ways to save time. And not be afraid to spend money to save time. A lot of you look at spending money. Well, what am I going to get? What am I going to learn? What's going to be completed for me? What's going to be done? Blah, blah, blah. You want that, which I understand. I like knowing, bottom line me. I'm that kind of person, which is why when I have any offers, right, for you guys, I always bottom line you. Okay, we get it. There's this, that, and the other, but then just bottom line me. What am I getting? What am I also not getting? But there is a limited resource, time, that you forget to put a price around. And when you're hiring, for example, someone like me who's an expert in getting you clients and cash online with consistency. Whether you're just starting, you're scaling to multiple 6 figures, you want to get to 7 figures, you're in the 7 figures, whatever size business you're in. If you want to be able to do that and have a proven strategy with a strategist who's done it for over 14 years on repeat, that's going to save you a lot of time than hiring maybe people who cost less but have far less proof and experience, or maybe you Googling or doing a course or this, that, and the other. Yeah, you're spending less money, but you're also wasting a shit ton of time. Even if it's your own time of, I can do it myself. Well, just because you can do it yourself doesn't mean you should. If it doesn't bring you joy to do it yourself, and it doesn't save you an amazing amount of money to where it, with the energy exchange and time exchange involved, you have to really look at that. Oftentimes, the best investment you can make is on saving time. You're banking time, you're saving all those hours of stress, of mistakes, by already learning something and having someone tell you, this is what works, this is what doesn't, here are the options, what feels best to you, let's go. And yeah, there's a price to pay, but what's the price of all the time you've wasted so far? Not even just the money you've wasted, it's really the time, because we can get money back. It sucks, but I know it sucks when you lose money. I lost $10,000 in cold hard cash in a Facebook ad campaign last year. That was not fun. I didn't like it, right? There's nothing I could do to retrieve that. But I would be more pissed about the time I wasted on something, because I can make the money back. You can make the money back. Maybe you don't know that about yourself just yet because it feels so hard to make money, but you stick with me for enough time, you'll realize that money is actually easy to make. Money is an unlimited resource. Time is not. So be more intentional with your time. Say no more than you say yes. And don't be afraid to spend money, whether you're getting a business loan or PayPal credit or using credit cards like I did when I started my business, in order to have someone show you the way, or to have someone do some of the work for you. So let me give you an example. My first hire, before I even started ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, right? I didn't have any social media platform. I started with my assistant on there, Nancy, and my nail guy, John. I started from scratch. I started my podcast from scratch. But before I even started that business, I hired a web designer, thousands and thousands of dollars. I hired a graphics person, and I hired a podcast producer. So my company started in debt. Now, did I use my earnings and my income from my other 7-figure business to fund it? Yes, I did, but I'm still in debt. And listen, I'm not an accountant and I'm not really great at numbers, but yes, that is considered debt. It was in the red. The company hadn't even made $1 yet, and I'm already easily, even a few months in, I was easily already at 25, 30 grand. There is no substantial, successful business that doesn't start in debt. There's always room for an anomaly, right? Like a 0.02% situation. But there is no, other than that, there is no business that does not start in legit debt. And if you have a product-based business where it's not like crafting, but you're developing a product, you're talking millions in debt. You start a hotel, a restaurant, hundreds of thousands, millions, craziness in debt. The beautiful thing about having an online business or even an online arm to your business, right? If you have a brick and mortar business, but then you create an online arm of revenue, is that it costs you the least in order to make more, and your overhead is less. But I just wanted you to hear that. I hired these people not because I couldn't there's no way I was going to design a website or a graphic. So that had to be done. But could I have figured out how to edit my podcast episodes myself and publish them? Sure. But that time it would have taken me, and the energy output and the frustration, that didn't make sense. I can't get back my energy. I can't get back my time. And then my next hire after that was a social media manager, because I was spending so much time on growing my audience and doing digital handshaking and all of those things. And I needed to do it myself first in order for me to best determine what works and doesn't work and to learn my audience. So there's some things, there is a strong benefit to doing it yourself at first. In that case, it was very smart for me to do that first. But then when it got to the point where I knew what was working, what didn't work, then it didn't make sense with me spending all this time doing it, because it was tedious and my time was better spent on creating digital products and more income generating activities so the business could make money. And it still wasn't profitable. There was revenue, but it wasn't profitable. Just because there's revenue, that doesn't mean you're profitable. That's why you see on the Shark Tank, it's like, okay, so what were your sales? Oh, we had 2 million in sales. And they're like, oh, that's impressive. So what were your net profits? We're negative 500,000. I wanted you to hear that. I will pay any day, all day for shit that's going to save me time and aggravation, even if I'm going into the red for it, because I know I will get that back tenfold in ROI. Now, it doesn't happen all the time because I make mistakes too. I've hired the wrong people. I've hired people who were full of shit that I believed, that didn't deliver. So yeah, you're going to have bumps in the road, but that's also what helps you determine who you don't want to work with or attract into your life and who you do. I had to start out with that. And it goes with the episode today on training your mind to get into and stay in the abundance zone when you're consumed with fear and self-doubt. You're consumed with fear and self-doubt. And a lot of people get this way in the beginning of the year because we tell ourselves, and I include myself, I do it too. I was very careful this year to not do it. So this might be the first year I didn't do it. But I've fallen into it. It's very alluring. In fact, dopamine is released. So there's a inner drugstore benefit to it. But lots of lies at the end of the year occur that we tell ourselves. 2022, I'll do this. Next year, I'll do this. I'm committing to this. Well, I don't do resolutions. I'm just setting the intention. I know I'm eating like crap during Christmas, but I'll tighten it up. I'll tighten it up in January. Well, my God, now we've picture having like a stack of playing cards and you keep taking one off and putting it into January. I don't know if you can hear my sound effects. Probably not, but wouldn't that be great? Another card, putting it in January, right? Another card, putting it in January. And pretty soon you have a stacked deck in January in order for your mind, your anxiety, all of that, for it to be soothed in December, right? Even in November it starts, but to be really soothed in December, it's a form of procrastination. It's self-soothing. It's like, I can breathe. This feels good because there's a dopamine release. It's almost like a little bit of a Xanax effect. There's lots of dreamlike state of fantasy thinking about how things are going to look in the next year. It makes you feel better about the fact you've not done as much as you wanted to in 2021. You've blown off a lot of things, so it helps you, wrap your head around that and feel better about that and less guilty and shame around that. But now you have a stacked deck in January, and now we're here. Now you're going into the new year with this stacked deck. And if it hasn't hit you yet, it will. There's a pressure cooker, because now you have this stacked deck of all of these things, and now it's go time. And then it's like almost like a freeze of, oh my God, there's so many things, and where do I start? And I'm still feeling like I'm in holiday mode, and I've got to get it together, and holy shit. Because the deck was so stacked. So the next order of business is let's remove some of these cards so it's reasonable. We have a whole year. We don't need to do all 52 things all in January. We can't do all the things all at once because then nothing will really get done. So let's prioritize it. Let's pick one thing per life category. One for your wellness, one for your money, money/business, one for maybe like a personal area in your life. Just one thing for each category. Not all these crazy things. I'm gonna reorganize my closet, and I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna start my podcast, and I'm gonna join this thing, and I'm gonna start this, and I'm gonna cook more, so I'm eating healthier, and I'm gonna work out X many days a week. And oh my God, now you're starting out this beautiful year with a burden and a chore, like an energy of a burden, chore, and stress. And then that will shift into guilt and shame really quickly because you're not able to do all the things in your stack deck. It's not possible. It's not sustainable. And then it's, what am I going to do? Holy shit. So let's remove these cards from the deck. Okay. Let's just remove them and pare it way down and just focus on those things. Because I would rather you set yourself up for, okay, this is more doable. Whew, I can breathe, and start seeing progress, no matter how small it is, and achievement in these things, because that is going to put you in a higher vibrating energy to where you feel better. You feel more confident, you feel productive, you feel you're a true active participator in your life and not being a procrastinator. And all of those feel-good emotions are only going to energize you more and attract more abundance and more great things. Versus the stacked deck is going to weigh you down, going to have you feeling stressed and shame and overwhelm. And now you have an abundance blocking situation going on. So try not to shame yourself for also doing this stacked deck thing. Like I said, this 2021 was the first year ever in my life that I've not done that. But the thoughts came up. Well, I can do that in January. Oh, I can do. And I went, no. We're not putting that card in January. Is it important to do now? If it's yes, then we need to start on it now. If it's not important to do now, let's not put that card anywhere. Let's put it in the miscellaneous pile. I don't want that occupying space in my brain. But it was the first time. And I've done a lot of work. But we can pare down this deck. So that's going to help you with that fear and self-doubt. It's funny what happens. I notice it with the over 1,500 people I've coached privately and well over 100,000 in group settings. But I've noticed what happens when it's time to really do the damn thing, how paralyzed people get, all the self-doubt comes up. In the planning phase, launching something new, pivoting a business, starting a business, going after something different, picking the colors, the title, the wording, all of that stuff. There's a kind of a fantasy element in it, the brainstorming process, even the learning process. It feels safe because you're not really done anything. You're not vulnerable. You've not put it out there, right? So a lot of people get stuck in that where they don't get out of it and they just go from course to course, program to program, coach to coach, thing to thing. And they never actually put anything out there and they don't even realize they're doing it unless they come to me. And with love, I point that out so that they can stop and actually get a return on all their investments. It's so common. And when you work with someone like me, especially, in one of my more intimate programs or with me privately, it's like, okay, so now it's time to go. We got to pick a launch date, It's like, I already know what's going to happen. And it doesn't matter how much experience you have, whether you've been an executive in corporate, you're a physician, you've launched stuff before. It doesn't matter because you're coming to me to do things a new way so you can make real cash and life-changing cash. And it's scary because a new you is required, a new version of you. To have this great success that you want and how you want it to look, like true wealth, where you're not grinding for it, where it's consistent, where it gives you true freedom of not having to work that much. You have to work, but it's more of by choice, not a have to. To be able to get the organic yogurt versus the yogurt that's on sale. To be able to do a last minute trip, even though you're paying 30% more and it's okay. In order to have that kind of success, you must let go of the old you. That doesn't mean the old you isn't in there. That doesn't mean you're rejecting the old you. It's like an operating system, right? We're building upon the old you. It's still there, but we have to let it go and embrace this new operating system. The person who got you to this point in your life today cannot and will not be the same person to take you to the next level in your story. So if you stay clinging on to your old stuff with little or no willingness to let everything go, the climb to the top is going to be damn rough. In fact, it's going to be impossible. This is why most people quit. Because you're trying to hold on to the old stuff and the old way and the old behaviors and the old habits. Because a lot of those feel safe to you. They feel familiar to you, even the ones you don't want, but they're still so familiar to you. And some of them even work, right? Some of them have had great payoff. You've made a lot of money doing the old way. But the old way also isn't working, or you wouldn't want something different. Or you wouldn't even probably be listening to me. It's scary to let go of what we know. And that doesn't mean it's gone forever, but you've got to be willing to sit that down for a while. At least sit it down for a while and open up to something new. This is one of the things, very powerful things that I do inside my 2-month private business coaching program, which applications are open for my 2022 winter spots. I only take 6 people at a time. Number one, I can only handle 6 of you crazy asses. Number two, I have a lot of other programs and offers that require my time and energy. And those private clients, you guys deserve to have the best of the best energy. And that's my threshold. So these spots fill up very quickly. The application is inside the show notes. You can simply swipe up and it's there, or it's inside my bio on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany, or you can go to my website, ProjectMeWithTiffany.com. Any of those places. But we really uncover the patterns, behaviors, beliefs that you're clinging on to consciously and the ones that are subconscious. I work on you with those, along with creating a proven customer acquisition strategy, along with creating a customized profitable content plan. We work with those things synergistically, because if not, I will give you your $1 million strategy and you will sabotage it. Even though you don't want to, you will, because you are attached to the old you. And I don't care how much work you've done, we all have an attachment to these different versions of ourselves. Some of the attachments are easier to break than others. Some of them we're not even aware that we have. And which is why it's so important to have a coach, which is why I always will, which is why I do to this day. Because I don't pretend that I can see all within myself. That's wild. Of course I can't. And I lie to myself and I don't even know I'm lying to myself sometimes. You know, like, oh, well, I've only had 2 fistfuls of white cheddar popcorn. Meanwhile, I've had 3/4 of the bag, but that's fine. And when you're at 3/4 of the bag, at that point, you might as well finish the damn bag. I almost said and I'm not going to have any popcorn in 2022. We're going to go popcorn free. And I started laughing at myself. Now that's a damn lie. So if you are at a point where you're like, you know what, I'm done messing around. I don't want to lose any more time. I want this to happen. And I want to make sure I do this right out of the gate to where it is profitable. And I'm setting myself up for the best success, not for a guess, not for a hope, not for, I hope this works, but I know this will work. Then apply. You know where to apply. Mama ain't cheap, but I'm also not the price that you're probably thinking I am based on my equivalent high-level coaching peers in the space, because I don't believe in charging egregious prices as a form of a business plan. That's not my take on pricing. I have a whole episode on how to price your stuff if you're curious. So when you're in that fear of wrapped in fear, I feel like it wraps us, it envelops us, and then it paralyzes you. Ask yourself this question. What would make me feel the most supported right now in going forward with this? Because you know you want to go forward with this regardless, right? So you're going forward with this regardless. So ask the question of what will make me feel the most supported and safe going forward doing the scary thing. Don't say, how can I make this not scary? It's going to be scary. How can I make this less scary? Not a good question. It's going to be terrifying. But what can I do? Is it get more support from friends and family? Is it hiring a coach? Is it making more time for yourself? Is it that you need to maybe take on additional clients or make more money in another income stream so you have a little bit of cushion before you go into a new riskier endeavor? I don't know. But ask yourself that different question. Because when you're asking yourself that question, you're also saying to the universe, oh, this is happening. I'm going to give myself the best support possible to help bring me through this. But to look for a way for it to not be scary, to look for a way to feel ready or feel more confident or feel less self-doubt, you're going to be waiting for a long time. I'm riddled with it when I go after something new. Riddled with it. I am going after several new things this year. One is me doing a full evergreen funnel without getting too geeky with you guys, and utilizing and experimenting at a higher dollar level with Facebook ads to a masterclass, and then that masterclass leads to something paid. And this is happening like round the clock all over the world as a passive income stream, and a robust one. Okay. I have other passive income streams in the digital space, but I haven't really fueled it with heavy cash before. So that's what I'm doing. And I call everything an experiment because it really is, because there are no guarantees in life. But in order for me to stack the odds in my favor and set myself up with the best success, I've hired the best. I have put a crap ton of money on the line, which scares the hell out of me because I have a ton of money going out, more than I ever have in my life right now. But I put a lot of money on the line. One, when you hire the best, they're not cheap. Two, that kind of money that freaks me out keeps me accountable, because you're damn well straight I'm going to show up. You're damn well straight I'm going to meet my own deadlines that I set. You're damn well straight I'm not going to make an excuse to not do it on a certain day when I need to give certain deliverables, because I'm not going to waste that kind of money. You'd have to be crazy to waste that kind of money. For me, what that level of money is, it's all relative, right? For me today, I would say, I mean, I can be a cheap ass. I really respect money. So I would say for me, anything north of $3,000 definitely gets my attention. But the terrifying stuff is when I go north of like 15,000, and I'm well into that. I'm deep into that. So guess what? I'm going to show up, because this was one of the things I promised I was going to do in 2021. The shit didn't get done. I didn't have enough on the line. I didn't have enough on the line to get myself to show up. So I had to set myself up in this way. So I asked myself the question, what is going to get me to do this? What kind of support do I need so that I'm going to do this thing? So I'm doing this thing. So what kind of support? What do I need to do? And I was like, I've got to put something on the line that I don't want to lose, that scares the hell out of me, to get my ass to show up. And I need to hire a team of people who are going to execute the Facebook ads and analyze them and do all that tedious crap. Even though I know how to do it, I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend the time doing it. And if I told myself I was going to do it myself, then that creates resistance, and it makes me not do the thing because I don't want to do that part. You see what I mean? So ask yourself that question. And then you're going to have to take the action. And if you don't take the action, the next level conversation with yourself is either letting it go. Like, you clearly don't want this that badly. And that's okay if you don't. Then you're going to have to let that go. And if you're saying, no, I do really want it badly, then why aren't you getting the support that you say you need that's going to be the very thing to hold you accountable and make you feel supported in getting there? Because there is no gray area there. So don't try to create one, because then that self-sabotage is in the gray area in that spot. So to apply for my 2-month private business coaching, again, I only take 6 people at a time. These spots go very quickly. The link is in my bio on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. It's in the show notes. You can swipe up or go to my website, ProjectMeWithTiffany.com, under Work With Me. If the spots are already full, I do take a wait list as well. But I would ask yourself, am I what you need to feel supported and to get you there? Even though it's scary, because you know you're not going to not do it with me. No one applies to work with me who doesn't want to be held accountable, who doesn't really want to go for it, you know? And anyone thinking about applying to get some form of free coaching from me, you've lost your damn mind. Like, straight up. So don't even think about that. We read through all those applications. We can smell those a mile away. And it's very rude, and you waste my time. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a lot of people wasting yours, because karma comes around. You know what I'm saying? All right. Wishing you guys great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.